Hey, you people. I posted a short movie today on how to hook your generator up when when the delivery man gets in a hurry and tries to leave the job too quick and pulls all the power lines. And so they must have got it fixed. It took them about 6 hours, but just before they fixed it, I didn't warm my truck up. I figured I was going to go to the Mexican joint and get something to eat and get a beer. And my truck was running, so I went ahead and gone on anyway by the time they fixed it. And so I met this guy there from Vicksburg. He moved down here to work. And so I got to talking to him, and I was telling him, the story about what I do. I do pretty much everything. But what I do mostly is just sit home and read the Bible. And I was explaining to him how they twisted the words because they didn't want us to know. So he was explaining to me that there's only one God. And I'm sure everything he knows about God, he got it from the church, from the preacher reading out of the Bible. But I'm pretty sure they got that totally twisted around. It's not that there's one God. It's that we are one God. We're all together. We are all one God. I'm not denying God. I'm just saying that they've totally twisted the words around because they didn't want us to understand. So I was telling him the story about when my brother's daughter died 3 years ago, coming home for Thanksgiving. And at the time I was meditating a lot, and so I went to meditate and try to connect, and I fell asleep. But by the time I woke up in the morning, I saw her face, and it was the clearest I've ever seen. Usually I see the body and the hands, but this time I seen the face in full color clearly, and she just said, you need a shave, Gillette. And the last time I talked to her, I told her what I was doing, that I was investigating the Hebrew Bible, and it just didn't seem right. And so I knew exactly what she was telling me. She was telling me Gillette is the ancient word for shave. And you can see it here in this story of Solomon, Judges 16:17, where I am shaven, and it's Gillette, Glhti, as in Gillette make. The yod at the end, the little I at the end means the work, to make. Gillette make, to make shave. I am shaven. Gillette make, will let, and I shall become weak, will let make. You can see it again here in 16:19. This word is WT, what? Gel. And you see this word where it says, all his strength left him. But this word for all his strength is just Chu, C-H-U. And they say the word means a small reptile. But they give it and his strength here. And you see all this group of words, that goes with the shave, and is GLH, GLH, Gillette. A whole bunch of them used one times. But you see the majority, when it's W, GLH, GLH, the following will be a et, T-A, then says the Gillette. And they'll never give this any meaning here, but it's to make Gillette. And he shall shave, to Gillette. But what this has to do with anything, if you look up the word Gillette, they'll tell you it's someone who manages or has significant financial interest in an industrial enterprise, artificer, discoverer, inventor, someone who is the first to think of or make something. But they've created this meaning from this Gillette in Wikipedia. And they'll tell you Gillette is an American brand of safety razors. And they'll tell you it was named after this King Camp Gillette. And they'll tell you that he invented this razor, but actually he didn't. The disposable razor had already been invented. What he invented was the handle, the free handle giveaway. He invented the free handle. Give everybody a handle, a really nice handle, and then they'll have to buy your blades because no other blades fit. He's the one that invented that. But is it even real, What if his name is King Gillette? What is he the king of? If he lives here in the United States, what is he the king of? We don't have kings. It's a total fabricated story. People in the know knew that Gillette meant to shave. And the rest of them, this is just designed to make us dumber. But they say King Camp Gillette came up with the idea of a safety razor that used disposable blades. But he didn't. It was already out. All he really invented was the free handle giveaway. And they still do it today. They'll give you a handle with 2 blades that work really good, and then you have to go back and buy their blades in order to fit that nice handle. But yeah, Wikipedia is totally part of this to make us stupid. You can't trust anything Wikipedia tells you. And so this, the base word, is GLH. And so if you look at the old ancient letter meaning chart, the G is the 3rd letter, A, B, G. And the G means the foot. And then the L is the bind or of, whatever you're talking about, the foot of. And then H, means to divide. And so, it's one thing to get your hair cut, but when you cut it all the way down to the foot of, that's a clean shave. You're dividing it at the foot, all the way down to the bottom of it. So I had made a movie on this years ago, and I guess the word got to Wikipedia, so they come back and change it. And now Gillette is erroneously credited with the inventing of the so-called razor and blade business model, in which razors are sold cheaply. And if you go back here to view history, and you go back several years, I don't know when they changed it. I just looked up this. But yeah, somewhere back here years ago, somebody didn't like me pointing this out, and they changed this. And so Gillette was a communist. They got another word for it, a utopian socialist. But he published a book titled The Human Drift, which advocated that all industries should be taken over by a single corporation owned by the public. That everyone in the U.S. should live in a giant city called Metropolis. Yeah, he would never make it. Oh, Gillette was initiated to the York Rite. That's the ones that run the Freemasons. The York Rite Freemason. His elevation to the highest degree of Grand Master. So I looked into a little more farther into the Quran since that last movie. I'm pretty sure I lost all my Muslim viewers when I posted that movie. I seen that I lost about 6 viewers real quick. But yeah, the more I look into it, it hasn't changed. That's the most corrupted language. They have many different letters, but they all have the same sound. Ha, ba, and ka. It don't matter if it's a T, a B, or a D. They all sound like a ba. It's impossible. They say that Muhammad was a Umi, and this is translated into illiterate. And so he didn't write. And so when the angel Gabriel visited him, and told him to recite, he responded, they don't know what this means. Ma, ana, bakara, u, which could be translated to a number of ways. I do not read. What am I to read? Recite. I will not read. Recite. And being that he didn't write, this was all oral, and the way that language works, all the letters sound the same. There's no possible way that you could write what somebody was saying. You wouldn't know how to spell it, because too many of the letters make the same sound. So I'm not going to go back on that. I'm pretty sure that's a big total hoax there. But I'll cut this off here, and I'm going to leave some links here at the end to some movies that I think would be a good place to start understand the Hebrew and what I'm talking about here. Good day.